Fast forward, any come over channel so AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast was a friend because make headlines. And a gem rain be exomo owaha. And a dimia braximus and a kanya and a dima. Mr. So which must subscribe to the channel. The notification bell so share now from so and into and can be any dimia braximu unia. Yanko Politica House na ejadema enyasem koto akra na ning na receive Afenyo markings na meno kase speaker Aban Babin etimi hitting hard enyasem koto akra na otwe na so asotwe a opetwe Afenyo markings nyina ne se so obeka ya ba parliament say Ecowas parliament representative from the minority side no Afenyo markings and the so o suspending no the senti o me yese enka Patricia Apiaji enkosi na nemu na Patricia Apiaji nso se na ono so suru okwan bi so nti amano amfa ne ho amfori sansensim na swearing in ceremony no obi ya suspend we hu ya ne se Afenyo markings krompo edikan wo hokra dada enya asem so akogina kunya umudronam ze ya branche o ya yuto asia kunya e wa sei nti ese se we dey oba ha sei odine wo bai e sanse mu si ne speaker hwe ho anwo se dey bi woni e ya traboni ntom e senti ubishia disciplinary committee amano ka se jeguri chemanya asem kuto akra me stress e mu nwan sebni ye hwe ne ye ko ni dey ba
of IT and elections with the NDC, and earlier we heard Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. We stay a while in Parliament, though, because the Minority Leader, Alexander Afenyo Markin, is set to face the Privileges Committee of the House after the Speaker found Prima Facie evidence that he may have disrespected the authority of Parliament. It will be recalled that Afenyo Markin was removed from Ghana's delegation to the Ecowas Parliament, but according to the Majority Leader, who made a complaint of contempt against his counterpart, the Minority Leader still went to Ecowas. He described this as a clear disregard of the authority of Parliament. Delivering a ruling on the complaint of the Majority Leader, the Speaker said a prima facie case had been made against the Minority Leader for contempt of court.
Conduct that conveys the impression that Parliament's decision may be ignored without consequence qualify as an affront to dignity, even if committed outside the presence of the House. Democratic experience across the world teaches that institutions endure not by their formal design alone, but by the conduct of those entrusted with them. The strength of this House, therefore, rests not merely in its constitutional design, but in the consistent respect members accord to its decisions and processes. Honorable members, having reviewed the complaint, the standing orders, and the governing principles, I am satisfied that the matter raised prima facie implicates the dignity and institutional integrity of this House. Pursuant to Order 34.1, I therefore refer the matter, the complaint lodged by the Honourable Member for Boko Central and a Majority Leader to the Committee on Privileges and Immunities for examination, inquiry, investigation, and report to the House.
And our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, is still with us for more on this. Kweku, the Speaker gave specific directives to the Privileges Committee, who now investigate the Minority Leader. Tell us more.
Yes, Kenneth, according to the Speaker of Parliament, the Privileges Committee is to go into this matter, specifically investigate the allegations that were made by Mahama. Did Alexander Afenyo Markin show up at ECOWAS, and were there issues challenging the applicability of the ECOWAS delegation from Ghana being sworn, among others? Listen to the Speaker of Parliament in his own words with the directives he's making to the Privileges Committee.
The committee is directed to, 1, ascertain the relevant facts giving rise to the complaint, including the actions taken by the House and by the honorable member concerned. 2, review those actions taken within the framework of our standing orders and the applicable protocols of the Ecowas Parliament. 3, determine whether the conduct, if established, constitutes contempt of Parliament or a breach of privilege under Orders 30 and 31A. And 4, make appropriate recommendations to the House for its consideration. In conclusion, honorable members, whatever our political differences, the authority of Parliament rests on a shared commitment to respect its decisions and uphold the integrity of its processes. Allegations that a member has disregarded a decision of this House must therefore be examined with fairness, constitutional fidelity, and a clear regard for the institutional independence of Parliament. I urge the committee to discharge its mandate with diligence, impartiality, and decorum, ensuring that all parties are given a fair hearing. Until the committee completes its inquiry and responds to the House, and reports to the House, I advise honorable members to refrain from public commentary on this matter.
Kweku Asante bringing us up to speed with events happening in Parliament. Thank you. And this is unprecedented, a minority leader being referred to the Privileges Committee. First, what does this mean for the minority leader? Right, let's get talking to Mr. Rashid Draman for more on this. Rashid, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. As I was mentioning, this is an unprecedented event that has happened, a minority leader that has been referred to the Privileges Committee. What does this mean for the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo Markin?
Yes, this is a very big one. First of all, maybe a bit of context here. When this whole matter started, I was hoping that our Parliament would not be on a collision course with the Ecowas Parliament, because the Ecowas Parliament has its own protocols. Our Parliament has its own standing orders and rules. There was tradition whereby in the past, whenever a member who is part of the Ecowas Parliament becomes a leader, he gives his space and seats at the sub-regional parliament to another person within their caucus. In this particular case, the minority leader is not only a member of the Ecowas Parliament, he's also a deputy speaker of that parliament. So that is where I would have thought that this matter would have been managed very carefully and diplomatically, so that we wouldn't have to get to this point. But here we are. We are at a point where the Privileges Committee has kicked in. I am looking very much forward to maybe the outcome, because not only this particular case, but over the years, people have flouted the standing orders of Parliament, and in fact abused the Constitution. And they went to the Privileges Committee, and we never heard anything. That's almost like if you want to kill the matter, you take it there.
Right.
I can foresee a very sharp division at the level of the committee, where the lines will be clearly drawn, even though the Speaker has urged members to show fidelity to the Constitution and the institution and so on. I am looking forward to seeing what this committee is going to do.
Right. And in looking forward to seeing that, do you expect any real consequences from this process, or is it just going to be business as usual, as it happens almost all the time?
Well, perhaps maybe because of the consequential nature of this and the character that is involved. And
right.
I think maybe we might see something different from what we've been seeing over the years. Having said that, I think, again, I would urge that this matter be handled carefully. This is a deputy minority leader, a deputy speaker of the regional parliament. There are implications not only here at home, but, those implications could spread across the sub-region. And it is, I think, important that these matters are handled very carefully. However, the Privileges Committee is going to approach it. There is some element of diplomacy that should be taken into account.
Do you expect them to just give him a word of caution or some punitive measures, probably?
Perhaps, even a word of caution, I believe, is going to be embarrassing enough for a leader of,
his caliber,
and a leader of the minority group in the House. But let me say this. Over the years, I have said that if we want this Privileges Committee to really bite and to really do its work in a way that is devoid of a lot of politicking, we might have to move to a point where it would be a committee that could have some eminent Ghanaians, or that could even be made up of eminent Ghanaians.
Right.
Because it's going to be very difficult, to have members of parliament look their colleagues in the face and enact sanctions against them, not to talk about the leader of the caucus. So it remains to be seen how this is going to play out.
Rashid Dramani, thank you very much. That's the Executive Director of the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Let's take you to the courts now, where lawyers for opposition MPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Ntribuesiakon, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, say they will file a motion on Monday asking the court to compel prosecution to
a member of parliament. I, however, bring to the attention of the House the provisions of the Court of Appeal Rules 1997 CI-19 as amended in the Court of Appeal Rules 2020 CI-132, Rule 27(3), and it provides as follows. I quote, "There shall be a stay of execution of the judgment or decision appealed against for a period of 7 days immediately following the giving of notice of the judgment or decision," unquote. In this instance, the ruling of the Tamil High Court was delivered on the 24th of November 2025. The statutory 7-day stay therefore remains in force until 1st December 2025. During this period, the High Court's ruling cannot form the basis for the Speaker to instruct the clerk to notify the Electoral Commission that the Kpandai seat is vacant.
Let's get more from our resident correspondent in Parliament, Kweku Asante, who is joining us on Zoom right now. Kweku, the Speaker consequently held that Matthew Nyindam can continue to hold himself out as MP. Tell us more.
Into the Speaker of Parliament, because of the rules he has cited in the Court of Appeal rules, it is clear that Matthew Nyindam could have come to Parliament to perform his work as a member of Parliament But the lifeline is not a very long lifeline. It expires on December 1. And so the Speaker of Parliament says, Martin Yinam could have come to the floor to work. Today, I haven't seen him around, but Martin Yinam says he is going to appear in Parliament and do his work. Listen to the Speaker of Parliament.
This rule appears to prevent the subject matter of the appeal from being altered or prejudiced while the appeal processes are pending. Therefore, before the initial 7-day statutory stay, the filing of a stay application may yet introduce an additional layer that may prevent changes to the member status within the meaning of Article 97 and 99 of the Constitution. The House's attention is also brought to Article 105 of the 1992 Constitution, which provides that a person who sits or votes in Parliament, and I quote, knowing or having reasonable grounds for knowing, unquote, that he is not entitled to do so, commits an offense. It is crucial to emphasize that Article 105 is penal in nature should the member know that he ought not to be in the chamber and he participates in the activities in the chamber. Honorable members, it's therefore too much premature to say that the Honorable Matthew Yindam is disqualified from entering and participating in the proceedings of the House, because this period still falls within the 7 days mandatory stay of execution of the order. Honorable members, this is not a declaratory order. It is an executive order that was delivered by the High Court. And so the honorable member is right to have been in the House yesterday and to have participated in the proceedings.
Quickly, so what happens after December 1st?
Well, the ball is now in the court of the Member of Parliament. On Monday, December 1, his time will have run out. It is up to him now to get a court to sit on this matter. That is a High Court. It's a High Court that will make a determination on this. To sit on this and give a substantive order. If on Monday, December 1, he does not get a substantive order staying the execution of the High Court order, he will no longer become a member of Parliament as per the Speaker of Parliament's own very ruling. As we have today, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. That will mean on Tuesday next week when Parliament comes again, and there is no substantive order, the minority will then make a new case to the Speaker of Parliament to declare that Martin Yindam cannot hold himself out as a member of Parliament can.
Kweku, don't go yet. I'll come back to you. But joining me on Zoom is the Deputy Director of Election for NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer. On the other side is the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition MPP, Haruna Mohammed. Gentlemen, glad you could join me this afternoon. Let me start with you, Haruna. What do you make of the Speaker's ruling as a party MPP?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good afternoon to your terrorist US and my colleague Rashid Tanko Computer, who is on the other side of the conversation.
Right.
First of all, what the Speaker has addressed is in respect to the mandatory stay of execution. And the Speaker has made reference to CI 19 of 1997, and specifically to Regulation 27.3. However, it is very important for us to look at Regulation 27.1, that is the A aspect of that, because 3 made reference to it. And if you permit me, that is 27.1 A. And first, the one says that an appeal shall not operate as a stay of execution or proceedings under the judgment or decision appeal against, except where the court below or the court order wise orders. In the case of court below, an application may orally or by motion of notice to it. So this is talking about an appeal. We are not discussing an appeal, even though we have given a notice of appeal to the court that we are going to the appeal court when the judgment is given on Friday, and that is tomorrow. The judgment that was given by the court is not known by anybody yet, except the oral judgment that took just a sentence. So the judgment is yet to be given to parties to study and make determination as to how what is going to go on. So the specific provision that is being quoted by Mr. Speaker, I believe that Mr. Speaker is referring to the mandatory stay of execution, which is mandatory for any other case, whether you have filed an appeal or you have filed for stay of execution. It is mandatory. And that is why it is in the appeals court.
We ain't some horror to cause channel, so I'm not so Jim or Harris, and so bad in the Nubi Edumiania. It was a ballroom, na Yasuma Quansong Sokra.